Hello and welcome to another live crafting session of Handmade Beauty Box. And hello to Periscope viewers. Today I'm going to show you how to make a facial toner. If you're a Handmade Beauty Box subscriber, you received everything you need to make a facial toner. But first of all, what is a facial toner? It's a combination of skin-loving ingredients that help to remove makeup, dirt, and oil from your skin, leaving it clean and refreshed and not feeling tight. In your box this month, you received witch hazel, you received aloe vera liquid, you received rose water. These make up the main ingredients for your facial toner. But in addition to that, there was some other fun ingredients thrown in. Oats and polysorbate 20, which acts as an emulsifier. Finally, you received some calendula. In addition to that, your Handmade Beauty Box included easy-to-read instructions and really cute and adorable labels that you can put on all of your bottles. Your kit this month includes enough product to make 8 facial toners. That's a lot of facial toners, so you'll have some for yourself and some to use on your friends and family or give away. Let's get started making our facial toner. So, first, for this facial toner, we are just going to take all of our ingredients and make sure you have every single one of them out. Lots of people, when they're making a cosmetic product, choose to disinfect all of their products prior to making it or manufacturing it. This is something I'm going to show you how to do right now. To do this at home, it's super simple. Just make a 5% bleach water solution. So a 5% bleach water solution is 6 cups of water to 1 tablespoon of bleach. So in order to do your bleach water solution and disinfect your products, all you do is put your product in and put it to the side on a clean paper towel to dry. That's it. And if you're making any sort of cosmetic products, you can be assured that anything that might have been left inside the bottles inadvertently during the manufacturing process is all gone. And now that these have all been done, it's going to take between 3 to 6 hours for our bottles to dry. So keep that in mind, and you can just leave them out, or you can just really tap, tap, tap to get all of that extra liquid out. And at home, you're going to go ahead and disinfect all of your products. So that means that you're going to make sure that all your bottles are dealt with, all your Pyrex containers are dealt with, and all of your bottles are completely disinfected. I'm just going to do a couple of them now just because that way it's just a little bit quicker from what we're doing. So if you're just joining me right now from Periscope, we're making a handmade facial toner right now on camera live, and all of this came from handmadebeautybox.com. So in order to make the facial toner, first of all, your product had 6.4 ounces of witch hazel. And witch hazel is a natural astringent. This means it tightens your skin and sometimes leaves your face feeling a little clean and awfully refreshed. This is a very common astringent to use, and some people use this straight on their skin, especially if they have just acne-prone skin. In addition to that, we're going to be using 5.2 ounces of aloe vera liquid. Aloe vera liquid is soothing for chapped or irritated skin. It's very gentle and it's extremely moisturizing. And finally, rose water has a very nice and delicate smell and also has a refreshing feel. This particular project calls for 4 ounces of rose water. This facial toner also uses 1/3 ounce of hydrolyzed oats. This is a really interesting and unique skincare ingredient that leaves a soft, kind of cushiony feel on the skin and leaves your face feeling velvety and smooth. It's actually basically oat extract, so it's good for redness and calming down skin as well. And then finally, you can do 2 to 3 tablespoons of calendula. And this is really in there because it leaves such a gorgeous look in the bottle. What I've done for this at home though is I have gone ahead and sterilized my calendula. I soaked this in a 5% bleach solution and I let it dry in a paper towel before adding it to the toner, just to be on the safe side, to make sure that there was absolutely nothing that was left in this product. Now, we do want to use a preservative in this solution, especially if we're using the fresh calendula. And the calendula is totally optional. I like it because it really looks pretty in the bottles though. So, once we've added the polysorbate 20 to our blend, this is the polysorbate 20 and the Optifin. Optifin is a paraben-free, formaldehyde-free preservative, and it helps it helps to keep bacterial contamination down, and it also helps to keep any sort of things from growing in your product. So now that everything's been combined into one container, all you do is you just stir, stir, stir. You want to make sure everything is really mixed in. Just go ahead and mix well with at least 1 to 2 minutes with your whisk, because you want to make sure that all the ingredients, especially that preservative, is fully mixed. Now, if you don't want to use a preservative, that's absolutely fine. You don't need to, but you are going to need to store this in the refrigerator, and your shelf life will only be 1 to 2 months at the most. You see, aloe vera liquid and rose water on their own generally are pretty shelf stable, but when you start mixing them with things that are alive, like botanicals, like these calendula petals, then they do have the ability to mold over time. So if you're not going to use a preservative, just make sure to keep this in the refrigerator. We're using polysorbate 20 as an emulsifier. You'll notice there's a very little amount in there. It's actually 0.16 ounces, so very small amount. But what that does is it helps to keep all of our ingredients mixed in and staying on the same and staying fully emulsified. If we didn't, what you might see over time is kind of the witch hazel dropping out or the aloe vera dropping out. In addition to that, if you're looking at this and thinking, you know, my skin is a little bit mature. I don't know about that witch hazel. Isn't that kind of astringent? I'm a little worried it might dry my skin. You're right, it could dry your skin. And so if that's one of your concerns, all you need to do is either decrease the amount of witch hazel that you're using in this particular recipe and just replace it with distilled water. Notice I said distilled water, not tap water. Or you can get some more aloe vera liquid or some more rose water and just increase that. I like to have the witch hazel in there because it helps to keep that pH of the skin a little bit lower and a little bit more neutral, so that way your oil production on your face doesn't go totally out of line. So when you're pouring, you have a couple options. In order to get the calendula to mix in evenly, just give it a quick stir and then just pour with a steady hand. And if you don't have a steady hand, you can always just use a funnel as well. And that one didn't get a whole lot of calendula, but good news, the ones at the bottom are going to get lots of calendula, which will sit there and infuse into the mixture and absolutely be skin loving and provide some really great nourishment for my skin over time. That's right, we're basically making a calendula infusion into our toner. And let's see how it smells. It actually smells pretty good. That rose water really helps with the smell. And it's interesting because I got a facial recently, and my facial person told me that if I was using a toner after washing every single time, that my T-zone, like the oily area around my T-zone, would actually improve and have less oil over time. So of course, I'm super excited about getting to take a lot of these home and sharing them with some of the girls in the office. I think this looks so pretty. Like, can you imagine that just sitting on your shelf?
So we have one question, Anne-Marie. How often do you use your toner?
How often do you use your toner? So you use the toner you can either use it in place of face washing. In fact, interestingly enough, we test these recipes at least 6 months to a whole year ahead of time. And we have some people in the office that are actually using this every night in lieu of washing their face. I just do it every single night after I wash my face. And then in the mornings, rather than washing my face, because I clean my face the night before, I just give a quick swipe with a cotton ball. So here, I'll just show you how to do it. And quick swipe with the cotton ball. So when you're doing this at home, just put a little bit on the cotton ball and swipe it over your hand, or in this case, you'd be doing it on your face. And how you'll notice it leaves your skin feeling is a really nice kind of moisturized but clean. So it feels really clean without feeling tight or overstripped of oils, which is really what I like. And then after this, you're gonna do your serums, or you're gonna do your moisturizers, or you're gonna do your sunscreen. So the way my skincare routine is I wash my face, then I do toner, then I do a serum, and my serum right now is just facial oils. And then I do a mixture of sunscreen and beauty balm. So a beauty balm is like kind of a really great tinted moisturizer. And so that's my face routine in the morning. And then at night, instead of a sunscreen, what I do is I do the same exact thing, only I use a really hydrating face cream instead of the sunscreen. So this is what our toners look like. They are really pretty, and I love the way they look. And what's even better is I love the way how they feel on my skin. They leave my skin feeling refreshed and clean. And did you notice how easy it was to make these toners? I mean, wow, you pay a lot of money for these in the stores, and you just made 8 of them with your handmade beauty box.
We have one more question, Anne-Marie.
One more question before we put our labels on.
Are there any other herbs that you could use besides calendula for an infusion?
Are there any other herbs you could use? Absolutely. So nettle would be fantastic in this. Yarrow root would be fantastic, and lavender. Those are all really skin-loving herbs, especially for kind of either dry or more mature skin. So all of those would be really good to use. And remember, if you're using any sort of fresh herbs, you do need to be using a preservative. But the preservative that we're using here, the Optifen ND, doesn't have any parabens, and it is formaldehyde-free.
And do you have to use an herb?
You do not have to use an herb for this particular project. I'm using it because I like the shelf appeal of it. I think it looks really pretty, and because I know that this is going to slowly infuse into the product over the next 3 to 6 months while it sits on my shelf. And I really do want that skin-loving, nourishing goodness, because my skin tends to be a little more dry and mature as opposed to kind of oily or acne-ridden. So I'm really looking for a more hydrating, moisturizing toner and a pH balancing toner rather than something that's stripping my skin. So that's why I love the skin-loving goodness of the infusions. So final step, just take your facial toner label that came with your Handmade Beauty box this month and place it on your facial toner, and you're done. You'll notice it has a full ingredients listing on it. So these are suitable for you to give away, and I think they make perfect gifts, because toner is one of those weird things that, well, not everybody buys or thinks to buy for themselves, but once they get it, they're delighted to have it. Any other questions, Courtney, before we sign off?
We had one question about the labels actually just earlier this week via
Yeah.
email. So can you just show what they look like? You cut them out and show what the back looks like to peel it off?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way our labels look are, they're these guys right here, and they come on a full sheet, and you just cut them off, and then they're perforated on the back, and like this. And so once you get them cut out, all you do is you just peel your perforated part on the back away. It peels really easily away. And then you grab your bottle, you line it up, eyeball it, and place your label on the bottle straight. And then once it's there, it should stick around until you're done using your facial toner. So here we have it. And if you are watching on Periscope and you're wondering how to get your Handmade Beauty box, you can go to handmadebeautybox.com and get yourself a single. A single means like a refill kit without having to get a subscription. And if you're a Handmade Beauty box subscriber, thanks for being a subscriber. Our brand new website launched in the last 2 weeks. I hope you go to handmadebeautybox.com and check it out. You'll notice that we have a brand new page for subscribers, so you can go in and log in and check things in your account, change your credit card, anything you need. And there's also a new ship date. Now we're shipping on the 23rd of the month. So your boxes will be a little bit later in the month, but good news, our website does allow for a lot of different options that our previous website didn't. So I hope you're checking out all of our social media stuff, including our Instagram page, our blog, and of course, if you haven't seen the new Handmade Beauty Box website, I'd love for you to see the redesign and tell me what you think. And until next time, thanks so much for joining me on this live crafting session. Happy soaping!